finally.
Hey.
I've been following your...
Just a moment. Now?
Yo.
Yeah!
We're here, we're in the building.
1, 2, 1, 2. So I've been following your musical journey since the demo of Last Words. It was before all the buzz that followed, and I've called you on the radio live, my personal bet for the future of music.
Wow, that's a big statement,
and
man.
I'm very happy that it worked out.
Oh yeah, has it worked out already? Holy
yeah,
hell.
because now you have a wonderful debut album. We have it here,
yeah.
and some wonderful EPs.
Yeah.
So everything is perfect. But
well, thank you.
Were you at any point worried that you'll never get over the success of Last Words? Maybe that you'll never write something bigger than that.
Of course, yeah. I think it's only natural, but. I think it was more just I was worried that I wouldn't progress as a writer, because the pressure of things would get to me, and I think hopefully I moved past that, but it's difficult,
Yeah, but where can you go higher than this?
I guess exactly. I made it now. I can retire.
Sky high, man.
Yeah.
As an ex-choir boy in a Catholic church, how much of a challenge was it to switch from church music to alternative rock?
I think it kind of came relatively naturally because I'd always loved alternative music, and I'd always sung in my own time, and so when I started, taught myself to play guitar, it kind of all came, a bit, easily, or not easily, I guess, but naturally, yeah, exactly, yeah. I never thought about it.
No, me. Patti Smith, American singer, composer, and poet,
yeah,
you know her, was saying, art is praising God and belongs to Him.
Right.
Is there any Christian or spiritual component in your music?
I think so. I think it's impossible for there not to be, because having spent so long learning my craft in that setting, I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person, but I don't assign to a certain
big
religion.
difference.
Yeah, and I do think that there's something very spiritual about music and about creative art forms.
And I want to ask you about your singing voice. Yeah. When did you discover it, and was it there when you first began singing?
Well, I think I always sung, in a particular way when I was in choirs and stuff like that. And then when I started playing guitar, I probably went through different stages. I think when everyone picks up a guitar, they put on an American twang and they sing like Bruce Springsteen or, God forbid, Justin Bieber or something. And I think I definitely went through that phase, but and maybe I'm still in it. Who knows? But whatever I sing like now, I guess, was kind of just an organic progression, I guess.
But what are the writers that inspire your songwriting? Maybe some poets. You have poets in your family.
Yeah, I mean, my mom is probably the biggest inspiration that I have, and in both a personal way and in a creative way. I think that a lot of the things that I've written so far kind of passed through her in many respects. And yeah, just people like Leonard Cohen, Bob Dylan were two massive, iconic songwriters that I looked up to when I started playing guitar and stuff.
But we should check your mom's poetry. Can
you should. I mean, it's on Amazon. It's very difficult to come by. Yeah, I mean, she's.
Tell us her name.
It's Judith Gracie.
Okay, I'll write this down.
Yeah. But it's quite tough. It's a tough read, but it's worth it. I think one day maybe the world will kind of
discover her.
Yeah, discover it. Yeah, but I mean, I'm her son. Of course I'd say that.
You are the best PR for your mother.
Exactly, and I haven't been doing enough of it, to be honest. But
you said in an interview that before you started touring, you hadn't really been to a lot of places outside your birth town, London. How come?
Well, for starters, I mean, I never really had a lot of money growing up, and my family didn't really have a lot of money, so we never really had much of an opportunity to kind of just go places and do things. And then when I left school, I worked, so I never went traveling or kind of did that. I didn't have the money to, and I wanted to make money for myself and my family or whatever. And so, when music started happening, it was the first kind of gateway to actually being able to get out and go places, I guess.
Wow.
And have you moved now from your old bedroom?
I haven't actually. Yeah, no, I still. The thing is, I think life takes me in many different directions, and I end up spending a lot of time away from home. But that room is still my home, I guess.
Yeah, I think you should keep that forever.
Yeah, I think so.
The creation point,
exactly.
The muse.
I mean, as long as it still kind of is inspiring, I guess. But
you are one of the lucky ones who had the chance of catching the music industry's attention straight from the beginning. How was your meeting with Lucien Grange, head of Universal Music? What were the first things he told you?
He told me one thing.
Take a pile of money.
No, he told me he wasn't the guy who gets me from 1 sale to 1 million sales. He said he was the guy who gets me from 5 million sales to 10 million sales.
Wow.
So that was a bit of a kind of, unveiling of his stature, I guess. But that time was a trip. I didn't know anything about the industry when all of that was going on, so I didn't really know of the significance of him or anything else that was going on necessarily. So now in retrospect, I see it all and I'm like, wow, that was a bit weird. But yeah.
What was your reaction?
I mean, then I was just kind of like a deer in the headlights, I guess. I mean, I was up in LA, and I was like talking to this man in the top of a tower, and it was all very surreal. And then he came to my gig in Islington, and it was all just like, what's going on? Who are these people, kind of thing. But
wow.
But yeah, I guess
It's a movie subject.
Well, to be honest, I think everyone's life is case for a movie. But
yeah,
I guess that's mine.
Who would play you?
Ryan Gosling. I mean, or Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet.
All right.
So you started with the demos at the very beginning. How does it feel to have those songs more permanent now?
It's cool, that was a really tough evolution, because doing justice to them when the world had already made their own relation to them was not only weighed on me personally as to how I was going to make sense of this stuff that had already existed with me for a while, but I knew that other people were going to have their own expectations and desires for the songs, and so it feels great to have made those moves, and to have that, committed to vinyl now, and it's just exciting because now, like, the music that I make going forward will be organic and new to everyone as well as myself. And I'm a songwriter, and so that's kind of what I do and pride myself on. So I'm looking forward to doing more stuff, basically.
And you have a wonderful limited edition of the vinyl.
Yellow Guy, which you have.
And all your EPs are on vinyl too. Are you a fan of this format?
Yeah, man. I mean, vinyl is a beautiful medium, and it's cool that it's coming back into musical appreciation, because I think it really compels you to spend more time with what you're listening to, and to really think about both the songs and also who's making the songs or whatever, and the work that goes into the artwork and everything about it. There's so much work, and so when people buy vinyl and invest in vinyl, I guess you could say they're investing in time and effort and love, so it's an important thing.
I'm really touched by your song That Was Then.
Oh man, nice.
If that was the then, what or how is it now?
Oh, cool. That's a cool question, man.
So
I guess different. It's the terms on which that song was written, the relationship which it was talking about, is no longer necessarily like the focal point of my romantic existence, nor my creative existence. So in the same way that we, everything changes in life, I guess I'm in a different place, but as with most songs, it's nice to just sing them and to exist old pathways and stuff like that. So yeah, it's by the by, I guess.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing to write about on this album?
What was the hardest thing to write about on this album?
And I was curious, what's your favorite song on it?
Well, the hardest, probably Hollow Crown was a pretty hard song to write, or was a pretty open song that that was kind of just came out in quite an organic and meaningful way. Silhouettes of You as well was really kind of tugged me and always does now. And what was the second question? What was my favorite song?
Favorite, yeah.
Fuck no. Oh, sorry, I swore.
No problem.
Beep.
You know, I always have a fondness for Terrified just because, you know, I feel like when I wrote that song, it kind of really summed up where I was and where I lived for quite a long time after that. And so whenever I sing that song live, I really connect with it and feel it because there's so much of me that was present in the lyrics and in the experience of it, I guess. So.
Some songs of yours are really soft, whereas others seems more aggressive. Are the lyrics setting a song's rhythm or aggressivity? Can you explain that?
Well, I guess so. My thing is just I'm not necessarily confined by a certain genre, and because of that, it's both difficult because whenever I sit down to write a song, I don't really know where I'm going because I don't have like a sonic landscape to tell me where in any way. But then there's also the thing, like it kind of gives me like freedom to just you know, explore whatever it is that I'm feeling and explore that in whatever way that however loud or however quiet I want to do it. And so I guess the loud songs and the quiet songs are all just based off of different, you know, emotions and stuff.
No producer hands there?
No, man. I mean, to be honest, like I write all my own music and I a lot of this stuff I produce myself as well, you know.
Whoa.
So
great job, man.
I mean, I'm glad you think so. I mean, I have to I exist with it on a very like, you know, neurotic and self-conscious level where I can never really feel 100% happy with it, obviously, and so I'm glad you enjoy it. It's a bit of a risk, but yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Thank you.
No. I have one more question. In the end, we kindly ask you to be generous and please make a recommendation of a not so known artist that you've encountered and we could air.
Okay, I was literally just thinking of someone earlier today that I thought the world needed to listen to. I can't remember who it was. I always panic in this moment. I'll see whether it comes back. It's floating through my mind. It's gonna come back to my head. No, I can't remember what it was. I'm just gonna say Phoebe Bridges. I mean, everyone knows Phoebe Bridges. I think. Yeah. But Phoebe Bridges, she's great. I mean, that's I'm throwing in the towel with that because but whatever. Phoebe Bridges, she's great.
Okay.
If you'll remember the other name,
I will.
Yeah, give us a sign
for the Polaroids. Yeah,
I will tell you.
Thank you, Isaac Gracie.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Summerwell, un festival Orange.